Hey everyone, and welcome back to RumJohn. I want to thank everyone for subscribing and following and keeping tabs on everything. I really appreciate your support. This is something that I kind of wanted to do just to have fun. So yeah, I appreciate all the comments and support that you guys have been giving me. Subscribe, keep subscribing. The more subscribers, the more I'll keep doing. If you have suggestions, if you're wondering if I listen to your suggestions, I absolutely do. I'm already a drink or two in, so let's see if this gets more relaxed, right? And how can I not be more relaxed? Look where I'm at. I'm at a marina. If I'm at a marina, I must be on a boat. So that makes it me. I'm at Clearwater Marina on the Abaco Blue, which is the RumJohn boat. This is our little getaway for the family and I. And that would be the Clearwater bridge that takes you over to the beaches and all the resorts and condos and things like that. We did record a video that I will add to this one. It is a video of us making meatloaf. I made my famous meatloaf that I love meatloaf. I know some of you are like, that meatloaf, beetloaf, I hate meatloaf, but guess what? I love it. I don't do your typical meatloaf. I always add something to it. I do an Italian meatloaf or barbecue meatloaf or something like that to have some fun. And so I will add that on to this video after. And so I know we're all here, looking at the beautiful scenery and wanting to know what's on store for today. Well, what I have here is Pyrat XO rum. Pyrat XO rum, as I said on the, I think it was the last video, that this used to be my favorite. It was, when I found this one, it was hands down my favorite. This is a sipping rum. It's got great flavor. It's got great color. There's no way this is going to show up on camera, but if I tilt the bottle to the side, you can actually see sugar crystals forming inside. That's how, like the sugar cane that is involved in this. But here's the interesting fact about this Pyrat XO. It is not distilled. What? Right? No, it's not distilled. What it is actually they mix various rums together of various agings and flavors to create this, and then they age this on its own. So it's a different way of creating rum. They do spell it the old school English way, how they used to do, back in the original pirate days. A couple other things about this is it is owned by Patron now. Patron bought it 10 years ago or so, but it originally in 1997 was created and was brewed in Anguilla, an island in the Caribbean, by Anguilla Distilleries Company. So I definitely recommend checking this out. Again, this is one of my favorites. It's kind of got like that honey look to it, and who doesn't like honey, right? But again, yeah, this is we'll just pop this cork and try this. I'm gonna in the spirit of the pirates, I'm gonna drink out of my pirate mug here. Helicopter. Helicopter checking out the beach, guys. So again, this is Pyrat XO. It's kind of neat. It comes with this little medallion on the side. It's a medallion of a hottie, the Zen patron saint and protector of fortune tellers and bartenders. Well, who doesn't like that, right? Again, so I'm gonna pop the cork. I smell it. It smells strong. It's 40% or 80 proof. It does have a strong kind of sweet smell to it. I'll put a little bit in here. Again, like I said, this is a you can definitely sip this rum. There's no reason to mix it with anything. It has a great flavor and a great smell to it. Yeah, it's not harsh at all. It tickles the back of your throat a little bit. You can really taste like a fruity, almondy. I mean, when I say fruity, I'm not talking like fruity pebbles. I'm not talking. This is fruity, isn't like it tastes like the tropics. It tastes like flowery kind of flavor to it. And again, I'm not a big snobby taste tester, so I'm not going to go down that road. But to me, it tastes very flowery, very fruity, almondy. You can taste a little almondy into it, but it's fantastic. So I highly recommend it. And yeah, I'll look up some drinks, some mixed drinks with it. But for right now, that's kind of what I like about that rum is that you just sit there and take a sip out of it and be good. So why am I coming to you from the boat? Let me tell you, this is my little hideaway. This is the RumJohn hideaway, and I also want you guys to know that we're going to do a lot of more videos from here. My family and I were just on an island for the past week, and we took the boat out there. We took some videos. I know some of you were asking about some of the videos that we take as far as the beach, where the beaches are and that kind of thing. So I decided to take a little bit of video of myself, and we'll make some of the relaxing music that I'm kind of really partial to, and relaxing beach scenes that I like. I think some of you guys like that too. So yeah, other than that, yeah, we're just hanging out here at the boat, Clearwater Marina. It's a beautiful day. Things are starting to open back up, and people are starting to go out and have fun again. So that's good to see. And yeah, I'll post the meatloaf on here and let you guys know. The other thing I'm doing too is I worked on a whole, you can't see it, but above my head, I worked on a whole bunch of solar panel stuff. If you're interested in that, shoot a comment down below and I'll explain to you how I did it. I like to try and venture out of my comfort zone and try different things. At the house, my wife wants me, and a couple other people want me to show you how I built my own solar pool heater. You go to solar pool place and they want thousands and thousands of dollars to put a solar pool heater on your roof, and it's probably worth it to some people, but to me, I just look at it and go, I could do that. And so that's what I did. I built myself a solar pool heater, and it raises the temperature of the pool about 5 degrees. Which is we're in Clearwater, Florida. You don't need water as hot as your sweat, right? That's not fun to jump into. So yeah, I just created one so that it just raises the pool about 5 degrees over the winter time, so you can get into it without jumping into a pool of ice water. And then on the boat, like I said, we'd go out to the islands all the time, and we kept running out of power because the stereo was going too much. Imagine that. So what I did is I decided to invest in look at how to set up the solar panels, and we did that over the past week while we were at this island called Pyrat XO, I think I said before, and the system worked pretty well. We actually made more power than we were using for a good chunk of the time, and I even had my son start watching the Harry Potter movies so that we could suck up some of that power, and it was pretty neat. And the surprising thing, and again, if you want me to give you a demo on how I did it, I absolutely will. The surprising thing to me is how actually easy it is to set up, and I've still got it kind of in a rigged fashion where I can show people how to set it up. And here comes the boat right now. So yeah, everybody wave. So yeah, again, people are starting to go out and have fun. So if you guys are in Clearwater, look us up, let us know, and we'll love to meet you somewhere and try some rum. Again, add comments. I read them all. My wife reads them all. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's keep this thing going. If you got suggestions of other things you want me to try, let me know. Until then, sit back, relax, have a drink, and enjoy the ride. I know I will. Today, is Mother's Day Eve. So, fellas, let's have some fun. Let's make a little something that I am very partial to. I love making food, and I love barbecue. So I'm going to mix two things, one from the past and one from what I do now. What I mean by past is my grandmother used to make meatloaf for me all the time, make for the family all the time. And as a child, this was the comfort food, the I'm home kind of food. And being the day before Mother's Day, let's make mom some comfort food, huh? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make, like I said, something from the past, meatloaf, something from the present, which is what I do all the time, which is barbecue. So mash those together, let's make some barbecue meatloaf. But before we get started, what am I drinking today? I am drinking something, you know, it's probably got 1,000 names out there, but I call it the Chief. The Chief is very simple. It is a spiced rum of whatever you choose, whichever your favorite spiced rum is. Could be Siesta Key, could be Bacardi, whatever. And it's simply just 7-Up. You know, you pour a little 7-Up in it, and it's it almost tastes a little bit like cream soda. It's fantastic. So I'm on number 2. So catch up. Let's go. So let's get started. I've got all the recipes sitting out here in front of me here. Let me just go through what we got. We've got here is the about a quarter cup of onions, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Oh yes, and by the way, these are red onions, so a little bit of sweetness there. I like things sweet. Many of you know I'm kind of partial to brown sugar. Speaking of brown sugar, one of the key ingredients in this barbecue meatloaf is brown sugar barbecue sauce. Yes, and if you don't have brown sugar barbecue sauce, make your own. It's super easy. Just take barbecue sauce and a couple tablespoons. Don't mix those two up. A couple tablespoons of brown sugar. Mix them together. I heat it in the microwave a little bit so that it actually, you know, congeals together. But that's a big tip there. Bacon for mixing with the hamburger meat. Yeah, we got to have that. So there's I basically took 3 strips of bacon, chopped them up, and put them in a bowl. For the center, you cannot have barbecue without cheddar. So here's the cheddar. We've got about a half a cup of cheddar, and then breadcrumbs. Same thing, about a half a cup of breadcrumbs. This is to your taste, okay? So this is going to be jalapenos. If you don't like jalapenos, another pepper. If you don't like peppers at all, leave them off. And that's the one thing I will tell you about all of this is a lot of this is all to taste. And we also have 2 things for later. These 2 go on the top. So this one will go on the top, and then right before it's done, we're going to add this here. This is ketchup and brown sugar. And then, of course, mixing with the meat is an egg. So let's get started. So what I do right off the bat is I start with the breadcrumbs, and here there's a black pepper and a ground black pepper and salt. So I'm gonna mix that with the meat, and then I'm gonna put the egg in there. Oh yeah, this is gonna look good. I'm telling you, this is gonna be good. The Worcestershire sauce. We'll do the onions. Make sure we get all those onions. I'm a fan of onions. I can eat a raw onion, so if you don't like onions, that's fine. You can leave them out, but whew, I'm good with onions. The barbecue sauce with the brown sugar. Let's add that in there too. And again, this is all to taste. So if you're not a big fan of one of these things, leave it out. If you think something else, add it in. The bacon, right? This is gonna be a good one. I've seen or heard people do meatloafs with bacon or with sausage, or even other types of pork type things. But I'm a fan of the bacon. My wife and I jumped on keto, and it has gotten right in there with us. So mix this all up. Make sure that you get this all mixed up. And fortunate, this is where you get dirty, okay? Get your hands in there, mix it all up. Man, this looks so good right now, and it smells wonderful. Let me tell you right now. This, you can't see it, but my wife is behind the camera, and she is drooling right now. She's so happy with me right now for making dinner the day before Mother's Day, but here's the benefit about this meatloaf. Okay, I didn't tell you this, but this, and I should have started at this, I'm sorry, but this is about 2.5-ish pounds of meat. So with our family, this is basically a meal tonight, and then lunch maybe tomorrow, sandwiches tomorrow. I know my grandmother used to make meatloaf, and then my stepmother, who's basically my mom, makes meatloaf. And one of the things that she does that is fantastic is the day after she makes meatloaf, we make sandwiches out of that meatloaf. Just toast a little bit of bread, put a little bit of cheese on it, put the meatloaf in there, throw it in the microwave. It's fantastic. It's kind of one of those foods that's the day after you make it, it's almost better than the day that you do make it. It's bizarre that way. So as you mix this, make sure that you've got everything blended together, right? So now you have this kind of almost moldable patty, right? So what we do is we slide this over to the side, and we take our pan, and what we're gonna do on this pan is make a boat. You know me, I like my boats. So we're gonna make a boat. This is where the cheese comes in. Many of you are kind of wondering what the cheese was all about. So my stepmother, as I said, my grandmother used to make meatloaf. She traditional oatmeal, all that stuff, meatloaf, right? Like all of our grandmothers have ever made. But my stepmother threw a twist on it and got me all started about meatloaf. And that twist was when she made Italian meatloaf. I'll make that some other time. But she would make an Italian meatloaf, and what she would do is she would make a boat. And what do I mean by a boat? I mean, she would put a spot in the middle of this meatloaf that you could then take your cheddar and put a clump of cheddar in the middle, right? Now this cheddar is gonna melt and be one heck of a center for this awesome meatloaf. And then you take and put a top on it, right? And you mold the bottom and the top together so that it seals that in there, right? You don't want that cheese to get out if it doesn't. If it's all possible, let it not get out. So now we have a meatloaf. Look at that. It's fantastic. It smells amazing. But let's make it more. Let's add some bacon on top, right? Because bacon just makes everything better, doesn't it? Bacon is, yeah, if at all possible, I could live off of bacon. So we're gonna add some bacon to the top of this. While you're trying to do this, try and not layer the bacon. And the reason for that is because if you layer it, it will not, fry like you're expecting. Like you're expecting a normal bacon to fry, right? So now that we have the bacon on top, let's throw the jalapenos on there. Now, the jalapenos right now, I will tell you, are spicy. And they're going to remain spicy. Let's actually bury the jalapenos. So they're going to remain spicy until you cook them. And then when you cook them, they have a little bit of a spice to them, but they're also going to be a little sweet to them too. And if you're familiar with jalapenos and cooking and baking jalapenos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's exactly going to be called sweet. So what I would say to do is try it out. I love it. All right, so this is our bacon cheddar meatloaf here. So what are we gonna do now? You know, most people will take this and they will throw it in the oven. That's kind of lame. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with throwing it in the oven. Absolutely, I bake meatloaf all the time in the oven. It's fantastic. But let's do it RumJohn style. Let's smoke this. What do you think? We're gonna take this and we're gonna throw it on the smoker. We're gonna smoke it for 5 or 6 hours, and when it's done, we will stop back here and we'll show you what it looks like. But until then, I'm telling you, sit back, relax, have a drink, and again, enjoy the ride. I know I will. Okay, so now we're over at the grill, or 2 grills. I got 2 smokers here. I have a pellet smoker and I have an electric smoker that you put wood chips in. I am particular to the Jack Daniel's number 7 chips, but use whatever you want. The reason why I have 2 grills is because this one here, as you can see right now, smokes fantastically. And so when you want that red ring, that fantastic smoke ring, I start here. But you know, as most of you smokers know, after 3-4 hours, that smoke, that's all, the flavor's in. After that, you're gonna get more and more of that kind of burnt woody flavor. So I start here for about 3 hours, and then once I'm done here, I move over to my electric smoker. Now my electric smoker will give me the actual temperature, or whatever temperature I set it to will stay at that temperature for however long I say it. So I will start here. That's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I have this pellet smoker set to the smoke system, smoke mode, and I'm gonna set that in there, and I'm gonna let that smoke for the next 3 hours. And then after 3 hours, I'm gonna take it out of here and I'm gonna put it over here into the electric one. Now you cook this until it gets to about 155 to 160 degrees internal temperature, and you're gonna know when this is done, because that cheese that has been melting in that boat on the inside is going to want out, and it's going to want out bad. So you're going to come out here to your grill or whatever, and you're going to open it up, and it is going to be seeping out. And when you see that, you check the temperature, make sure it's 155, 160 degrees. Oh, it's going to be good. And with that, I want to tell you, Happy Mother's Day to you moms. Have a special day, and we will talk to you next week.